Hi, I hope you're doing well. I wanted to share another pearl of wisdom with you. One of my mentors in the past was Jim Rohn, who's no longer with us. And he told the story about a man that he met that was in his 50s. And he told him that he went fly fishing. And Jim asked him, how often do you go fly fishing? And he said, once a year. I've got about 20 more years to go. So Jim looked at him and said, if you're in your 50s and you think you're going to go for another 20 years and you go once a year, then it's 20 more times, not 20 more years. And I never forgot that because my mom and dad, when I had a chance, I would go visit them in Israel. And every time I said hello and goodbye to them, I never knew when I was going to see them again, if I was going to see them again, because I had to fly very far to visit them. I'll never forget, I was on an airplane and I met this guy. He looked like Magic Johnson, like 6'5", tall guy. And he was flying to see his mom in North Carolina. We were flying from Miami. And we were talking and I said, I am flying to, making a connection to go to Israel to see my mom. And I said, how often do you see your mom? And he said, not often. It's like a 13-hour drive. It's so far. And I looked at him and I told him Jim Rohn's story. And I said to this guy, how many more times are you going to see your mother? If you live with her, then it's 20 more years. If you don't live with somebody and you're going once a year, it's how many more times? And he started crying. And he said, you're so right. I keep coming up with excuses that I can't drive that far. I don't have the time. I said, look what I have to do. I have to fly for 13 hours, spend a lot of money, jet lag, preparation, pack, and you could drive to your mom and you're complaining. So this message is about don't take anyone for granted. If you see your parents once a year, ask yourself, how many more times are you going to see them? Anyone that's dear to you and you don't see them often, it's how many more times. It's not how many more years unless you live in the same house with them or the same city. So keep that in mind. Don't take time for granted. Don't take anyone for granted. And visit as often as you can. Speak as often as you can. Skype as often as you can. And say you love them as often as you can. God bless.